Hello everyone, Justin here, and today we are going to draw a frog. And let's start by drawing a slight curved line, and from here we're going to make it a triangle essentially. So from here, let's just draw a line this way and then a short line over here. So this is going to be its body, and we're going to fine-tune this in a little bit. But to start, let's start by drawing its nose here by making this front part curved, round out the tip here of this triangle, and come out about that far. And then right underneath, we're going to draw another line that goes out a little bit farther. So right about here, let's go ahead and draw the eye. Let's just draw a circle. And then the other eye will then be right across from it. So right up here, and it's going to curve out. So we're going to curve out the body line for the eye. And we can actually make this eye just a little bit bigger, like that. So then we can draw in the pupil, which is a smaller circle inside. And now we can continue on with the back. So let's just make this a little bit undulating here. Okay. And then behind the eye, we'll draw another oval shape, or kind of like a circular shape, I guess. And that's the tympanic membrane. That's the ear. So from here, let's say this is the shoulder. We're going to draw the front legs that goes and extends right about up to here, not quite to the bottom. And just draw a couple lines, like a long oval, just to show that that's the upper arm. And then from here, the elbow, we'll go ahead and draw another shorter sausage shape. And then from here, we'll draw a finger, another finger, and another finger, basically. And then from underneath the chest, we'll see a couple more fingers from the other foot. So let's just go ahead and continue the belly or the chest part. And it's going to go below this arm. So basically parallel. Okay. So now let's go ahead and darken this arm a little bit and go a little bit further. And now we can draw a slight curve for the front part of his arm, and then a small curve going backwards to show that the wrist is basically flexing here. Okay, sorry, but my battery had died. But here we are. I went ahead and finalized the shape of the back of his back by making it a little bit curved here. And here's part of his other rear leg. But here you can see that I already drew the one rear leg that's closest to us. And what it consists of is basically this oval that's set off from this triangle that we had drawn. And then I connected it with these two lines. One curved right here to connect this oval and this back part of his leg here. And then continued this line to add the fingers of his feet right here. So anyway, let's go ahead and do some shading. I'm gonna start first with the eye here and start shading in this eye. And what I'll do is I'll actually draw a big rectangular highlight here. You can see that. And I'm going to erase that one line that's inside. Okay, you can see that rectangle a little bit better. I'm gonna go ahead and draw the pupil. And I'm gonna use these doodly, scribbly lines here on the outside to shade that in. And outside of the highlight here at the top. And just a touch lighter at the top. So down here it's going to be a little bit darker. And I'm going to go ahead and shade this bottom section here. just because it's below. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit darker and add some wrinkly lines right here and maybe up here. And he's gonna have a lot of warts, so let's draw a lot of little circles, light circles, all along this area. Maybe getting a little bit bigger here toward the side and a little bit smaller as we get to the back. So this line kind of delineates kind of like the flat part of his back. Just light circles. So let's draw a shadow line, maybe like that, because this part's going to be in shadow, and I'm going to go ahead and start shading that in a rough way. And there'll be a cast shadow right here on the leg from the belly, so let's do that. And this whole section will be really kind of in the shadow, so let's continue this kind of shading, perhaps leaving this upper part, back part right here, lighter. So this part will catch a little light, so let's just leave that and shade the back side of his rear leg. And of course this area here, which is further back, will be a little bit darker and be in shadow, so let's just make that a little bit darker. And of course a little bit of cast shadow here on these toes. Okay, and on the bottom of the toes right there. And let's go here. So this arm, upper arm, kind of comes out a bit, so this is going to catch a lot of light. And then at the elbow, this part goes in. So let's put all of this into shadow. And of course these toes from the other side, or fingers, whatever they're called, will be darker because it's under the body. And this one as well. Let's just give it a little bit of shadow on the side to give it more form. And this chest section will be pretty dark, of course, because it's right under. And this part of the arm would be, we'll have to shade this a little bit as well. And now there's no gradient here. Let's add a little bit of a gradient. So let's go over this again. Here's our next shadow line, and darken that. And we'll do the same right here. Shadow line, darken it like that, and maybe make this part a little bit darker, especially toward the edge. Okay, and let's just add some more tone, maybe on the inside of this tympanum. Okay, and on this edge here of his back, maybe a little bit on the back so it's not just flat. I think I'll go ahead and smooth this out a little bit with my finger first and add some tone on the whole frog. Let's add some spots underneath here and shade a little bit between the white spots, and add some discoloration some dark spots then under here on the belly and on the side, and these are just random dark areas, and there'll be these dark spots as well on the legs, trying to make this random. And I'm going to emphasize these lines a little bit more and perhaps make this part darker and underneath these lines especially, and more spots. And I'm also going to add some half moon circles right on the leg to show that there's a shadow on these little bumps, and I'll also do the same thing on the back. You can see that it's just a U shape, and that just helps to indicate that there's bumps up here, and the pencil line is actually the shadow on this side of the bumps. And I'll add some over here as well, and on the arm. And these little circles then that we had drawn initially are the bigger bumps, so I'll go ahead and put a little bit of a shade on the lower right side just to show that it's bumpy. So basically these are bigger versions of these little U-shaped lines that we had put on the back and the legs. And I'm going to emphasize them a little bit more down here. I'm just going to add some more cross-hatching lines because I don't really like the too smooth of a look from having used my finger to shade. This is not a smooth animal. This has a really rough surface, so a rougher, sketchy feel I think would be better than a smooth, glassy look where it's all smoothed down. Okay, so just to emphasize things a little bit more, I'm gonna go ahead and darken the darkest parts with my darker pencil here, including the outlines. And just add more strokes, pencil strokes, to give it more of a sketchy feel. Make it darker here. I'm just going to emphasize the shadow here a little bit more and add some more spots, darker spots on its back. Again, sort of random, roughly circular shaped, some are ovalish, and maybe add a couple down here on its side. And that should pretty much do it with our frog. I hope you enjoyed this and got a little something out of it. And I will see you next time. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And ring that notification bell so you'll know when I've uploaded more videos. Thanks and have a great day.